Hey YouTube, what's up? Code Talks here. Today I will be continuing our How to Code in Java series. Today we'll be covering methods. So let's get started right away. So why would we use methods? Methods we use to improve code readability, and it allows for easy code reuse. So I'll show you a quick example of methods. So let's say I have a string, let's call it string. I can't even type string. String word equals um welcome to code talks. Okay. Um and let's say I want to print the word string word out in like a typewriter effect. Let's say I might want to do this multiple times for different words. So either I can create the kind of loops required to do that, or I could create a method to do it and call the method over and over, and it would only be take one line and it will make the main method much more readable. So let's do that. So just type along with me and I will explain how this works. Okay, so this is called the method header or signature, one of the two. The technicality doesn't really matter. Mean much right now. In the next video, I'll get into it more. So, how this works is first you declare kind of like where the method can be accessed. So either you can be public, it could be private, or it could be protected. Protected. And what public means is that means you can access the method from any class. And this is a class in case you have noticed. A class is an kind of an environment to create objects in Java. So private means the method can only be accessed in the class in which it was created, and protected means the method can only be accessed from classes in the package. Don't worry too much about them right now. I'll go over what they mean more in depth in my next video. Static means basically you can access the method without creating an instance in the class. Again, don't really worry about it. Next video I'll go over it. Void is the return type, so all methods return something. And in this case, I'm returning void, which means I'm returning nothing. So I don't really have to have a return statement, and I'll show you that in like a few minutes down the video. And then you have the name of your method, and then you have parentheses. Inside the parentheses, you will have um, parameters. You will define parameters. So parameters are basically something you might want to perform a task with in the method. In this case, we want to give it a typewriter effect. So here's how we'll do that. So actually, I just want to go over parameters one more thing. System.out.println, that is really a method. And what you put inside these parentheses is called an argument. And an argument is put into the parameter of the method. And let's say you want to put in a string, the method will perform the action of printing it out onto the console, printing the string you pass in onto the console. So I hope you kind of get what that is, but as I type, you'll kind of get it. So also do watch my loops and arrays video before you watch this video. Make sure you're caught up on those, so because I'm not going to be explaining those things in this video. So I'm going to create an enhanced for loop or for each loop. And basically we're going to run through each letter, and if C is a space, then I want to print out system.out.print C, but I want to have, so thread.sleep is basically how you do a delay in Java, delay your program. I apologize if you hear sounds in the background. So I'm going to put a 125 millisecond delay, and I'm going to need to do a throws exception. So throws exception just basically means uh, if there's any interruptions or an exception in Java, which we will also be going over. We're just gonna throw and we're not really gonna catch for it. So if there's a space, uh, wait 125 milliseconds, else, mm, system.out.print C, and then thread.sleep. What do I want to do? 250 maybe. And then when the loop ends, I want to move the cursor to the next line. Okay, so how this method works is when the method typewriter is called, a string should be passed in, and each letter will be of the string will each character of the string will be printed out with a delay. So if the character is a space, we will print out the space but wait 125 milliseconds, or else we will print out the letter or character and wait 250 milliseconds. So you can see if, let's say, we wanted to do this typewriter effect over and over again in our main method, we'd have to copy this piece of code over and over again, and it would really clutter our main method. So that's why you want to use methods, so you could just reuse the code. All you have to do is write typewriter, the method name, and then pass in the parameter word, so a word that you want having the typewriter effect. So I'm going to run this, and you can see the typewriter effect. It's just building, running, and you can see how it's printing letter by letter. So yeah, so just in this method alone, you learned about parameters, and so parameters are what you define in the method header, um, and arguments is what you pass in. All right, so you passed in word, and you printed out word with a typewriter effect. Congrats, you wrote your first method. Next, let's go over the other return types. So pretty much in Java, you can return really anything. So um, we'll return an integer, and we'll call this method add because we want to perform an addition. So we're going to have two parameters, int a and int b, and basically we're going to return the sum of a and b. Okay? So basically what this method does is it gets the two arguments a and b and then returns a plus b. So the difference between return is a return method rather than a void method is void methods, as you can see, there's no return statement, so there's no value kind of returned from the method. There's no value that the method has to give. But in a case of where I've declared the method, like the return type as an int, I'm returning an integer value. So here's what that means. That means I'm returning a plus b, the two parameters I've passed in. And I can now system.out.print that value, or I could store that value in a variable. If I wanted to, I could do int sum equals add 1 and 2, or 1 and 3, and this would store the value of 4 because I've passed in 1 and 3, and it will return, so let's just act like we've kind of passed it into the parameter. So a would equal 1 and b would equal 3, and 1 plus 3 is 4, and it would return the value of 4 into the variable. So you could do that, print out sum, or you could just directly call the method in a system.out.print line, which isn't always the best programming etiquette, but for the purpose of this video, it's fine. So it should print out 5 over here, because 1 plus 4 is 5. A is 1 in that case, and B is 4. You can see right here, that's very beautifully kind of displayed by IntelliJ. Credit to IntelliJ. This is not sponsored, but I just really love how vocal it is, and it's vocal in the right places, so it's not annoyingly vocal. So you can see it printed out 5. Alright, so that is return methods and passing parameters. So you don't really have to necessarily have parameters. You could really just um, return, oh my god, static, void, print, hello. You don't really need to have parameters. You can just have brace brackets. And let's say you just wanted to print something out to the screen. Um, hi everyone. So you could just write, you could just call a method like this, a void method that returns no value, just like that. Or you can even create like a double that like, I don't know, finds the, you could really do anything. You could do doubles that finds the exact value of like 22 divided by 7 or something like that. Let's create one last method that is called that finds the remainder, that prints out the remainder. So I'm probably gonna have one more video on methods, but this is just a brief introduction. I'm gonna call this the introduction video to method. So public static and int um, find remainder, and we're gonna have two parameters, a and b. Sorry, int b. Okay, and what we will do is we will basically find the remainder by return. So first, actually, we want to find the bigger number. So int big and small. Okay, so how we're gonna find big? We're gonna use the math.max function, which basically returns the bigger of the two integers, just in case, just for extra, usability of finding the remainder. So actually, technically, do I really want to do that? No, I don't really want to do that actually, and here's why. I'm gonna change A to A and B, and I'm gonna be a little more specific. I'm gonna do int denominator. I think I spelled that right. Yeah. See, the great thing about IntelliJ against not sponsored, it does spell check for you too. Int numerator. So I'm gonna return numerator modulus denominator, and it'll return the remainder. So of course I can store it into a method, but I'm just gonna print it out because why not? Find remainder, and I can basically, let's say I'm just gonna do, I really don't know, to 3 over 2, and you can see it will print out. So building, building, running, and we have our typewriter effect. That's cool the first few times, but sometimes it gets a little, and you can see the denominator is 1, because 2 goes into 3, 1 times 2, and then 2 times 1 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1, remainder is 1. So that's the introduction to methods. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And stay tuned for the next video. Thank you very much for watching.